Yo, 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 it's Khurana here with KhuranaVibes TV, welcoming you to a brand new and exciting channel focused on providing you with the best basketball content here on YouTube. For today's inaugural episode, I'll be giving you guys my predictions for the AllNBA teams if the NBA chose to jump straight into the playoffs, canceling the rest of the regular season. Without further ado, let's get into it. To start off with the All-NBA teams, I have Philadelphia 76er guard Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has actually been having a very underrated season this year. As many haters as Ben Simmons does have, he should have just as many fans. Ben is by far one of the most versatile players in the league, being able to guard 1 through 5 with ease. The rest of the league should pray he doesn't develop any sort of a jumper, because without one, he still averages 17, 8, and 8 while being a top 5 defender in the NBA this year. Great season so far from Ben, and he could be a league MVP easily with a jumper in his arsenal. Next up for third team guard, I have CP3 Chris Paul. I'll be the first one to admit to you that I'm not the biggest Chris Paul fan. I find that he whines too much on the court and it negatively affects his team. Big case in point that Chris Paul has only made one Western Conference Finals in his career, not being able to get past the semis in almost 14 years in the league. But this year I have to give respect where respect's due. CP3 has led his team to the playoffs, where everybody thought they were going to be a contending team. I mean, we got to give our respect to SGA, Danilo Gallinari, Dennis Schroeder, Steven Adams. They've had great seasons as well, but CP3 is really the leader of that team. All-star this year as well. They managed to stay relevant in the Western Conference, tough Western Conference this year as well. And he gets his respect here, so that's why I got him as third team All-NBA for this year. For my first forward spot, I got my boy Pascal Siakam, Spicy P. Maybe a little biased here when I say this, as the Toronto Raptors are my squad, as being a Canadian guy. But I think the reigning most improved player truly deserves this spot. He's increased his scoring by almost 7 points per game this year. Although his field goal percentage has decreased quite a bit, that has a lot to do with the fact that he's now a number one scoring option with Kawhi not in the picture anymore. Kawhi took his talents to LA. But it's all good. I fully expect Spicy P to enter MVP conversation maybe as early as next year when we go for our push for Giannis in 2021 free agency. And I only expect him to get better as his career moves forward. He's been having a great year. Toronto Raptors having a great season. Nobody expected them to be where they are right now. Second team in the Eastern Conference, still contenders, even though they lost the Finals MVP last year. And we got a great chance to get back to the finals this year, and Spicy P will be leading us there. Next up at forward, I got the young stud from Boston, Jason Tatum. Tatum is having himself an excellent season, fully establishing himself as the closer and best player in Boston. With an array of moves from all over the court, Tatum has quickly become one of the most gifted offensive players in the league. With the young core Boston has, with Tatum leading the charge, the Celtics should be in multiple conference finals, if not finals, for years to come. And for third team center, I've got the Stifle Tower, Rudy Gobert. I think it's safe to say at this point that Rudy has firmly established himself as the best defensive center in the league. Even though Utah's defense has slipped compared to years past, that can't be put on Rudy. While maintaining his excellent defense, Rudy has continued to provide efficient scoring to the Utah attack, making them a contender this year in the Western Conference, along with Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Joe Ingles, Mike Conley. They've had a good squad, and Rudy Gobert has been the anchor for their defense, so it's been a good year for Rudy. My first guard in the second team, I gotta put Damian Lillard in there. There's not much to say about Damian Lillard. He's proven himself before, he'll prove himself again. Big time players make big time plays. Damian Lillard is a big time player who makes big time plays. The fact that he plays in a tougher Western Conference and still puts up the numbers that he puts up every single game is quite astonishing. He doesn't have much help around him other than CJ. Revived Melo and maybe a little Whiteside help. He doesn't really have a bench over in Portland. I don't think he has the right coach around him. I don't think he has the right team around him. And he's still putting up 29, 4, and 8 every single night, which is unbelievable. So Damian Lillard is my second team guard for that sole reason, that the guy's got heart and he's showing it every single night on the court. Next up at guard, I got, this might be a little bit of a shocker for a lot of people, but I got James Harden. I'll admit to you guys that Harden is one of my least favorite players in the league. I just don't like the way he plays, always trying to get to the free throw line, slowing down the game. Makes it kind of boring to watch a lot of the times, but I have to also admit that his offensive game is probably the best we've seen since probably 2005, 2006 Kobe Bryant, 81-point Kobe Bryant. Also, he gets quite a bit of hate for his defense, which it hasn't been as bad as it has in previous years. Once the Rockets moved to that small ball lineup, he's been mostly responsible for defending the other team's centers or power forwards due to his strength. He's been in the post quite a bit defending them. I just find that his teammate has been having a better year than him. Russell Westbrook has been having a better year. I find that Harden's scoring, when it was up near the 40 points per game levels, I found that his scoring didn't translate to wins just as much as when Westbrook's been playing good. Westbrook's games have been leading the Rockets to wins, whereas Harden really has not. For forward, I have the Claw, Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has had undoubtedly a wonderful 2019 and has continued it to 2020, from Finals MVP last year to the 2020 All-Star Game MVP this year. Kawhi has been just purely amazing with an offensive arsenal that can match pretty much any superstar in the league at this point, and a defensive pedigree that everybody knows about. I mean, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year over in San Antonio. He's established himself as probably one of the top 2 to 3 players in this league, but has just missed too many games for me to be able to put him in the first team. I mean, load management's a thing with Kawhi, so it's hard to put him in the first team if he's only playing 60 to 65 games a year when all the other stars are playing over 70. My other forward will be #1 free agent this summer, Anthony Davis. With a perfect scenario in LA for Davis, it's been a great year for him. He's averaging 27, 9, and 3. Good shooting splits, and has really anchored that LA defense that's a top 10 defense in the league. He's slated to hit the open market this summer. Hopefully he stays in LA, because that's a great situation for him. He's had a great year there with LeBron as his partner in crime. Those LA Lakers are definitely the favorites for the championship this year, solely on the basis of Anthony Davis and LeBron James playing wonderful basketball this year. My second team center is Mr. Joel Embiid from the Philadelphia 76ers. First things first, I do have to say I don't like Embiid on the Sixers. I don't think that's a good fit either way. Embiid needs floor spacers around him. He doesn't need a point guard that can't shoot beyond 10 feet. Doesn't need a power forward that plays the exact same position as he does. It's just not a good fit over in Philly, but nevertheless, Embiid is skillfully probably the second best center in the league, and there's no doubting that. He should be the best center in the league, but with the team around him, it's just not a good team for him. I mean, he's still averaging 23, 12, and 3. I mean, he's only shooting 47% from the field. I mean, I would like to see that over 50%, especially for a center. But nevertheless, he's been having a great year. Second team All-NBA. And finally, for my first team at guard, I'm going with a pretty controversial pick. Will be Russell Westbrook. Flat out, I just think Russell Westbrook's had a better year overall as his teammate James Harden. I know a lot of people are going to put Harden in that first team and Westbrook on that second team, but I switched the roles there. I definitely think Westbrook's been having a better year. He's shooting better from the field. He's playing better defense this year than he has in years past in OKC. And it's just been a great year. He abandoned his three-point shot, which everybody was begging him to do. He couldn't hit a 3 to save his life. But now as pretty much just a slasher, Westbrook's been dominating the Western Conference, dominating the league. And that's why I got him as my first team All-NBA guard. At the other guard, I got Luka Doncic. Man, oh man. Luka Doncic has had himself a marvelous year. Slowly becoming probably my favorite player in the league. I mean, his game is just beautifully sound. There's nothing Luka can't do. He could pass, he could rebound, he could score at will, he could get to wherever he wants on the court with very little athleticism. It's just pure skill with Luka. His game's just designed for the modern NBA. He doesn't shoot many mid-ranges, just threes and gets to the line. His defense needs to improve quite a bit. I mean, The athleticism hurts him on that side of the court. But I mean, he's already become a top 5 player in this league, and slowly, with Porzingis, I believe the Mavs are going to become contenders sooner rather than later. And as my first team center, I have the Joker over in Denver, Nikola Jokic. I mean, flat out, he's been the best center this year. Averages of 20, 10, and 7. Good shooting percentages. He's got a great team built around him with Jamal Murray, more of a shooting guard, playing that point guard position. It allows Jokic to be the facilitator of that team. Just a great team built around him, making them probably contenders for years to come. And if MPJ ever gets to that potential that everybody believes he has, Denver's a team to watch out for the next 5 to 10 years. Next up, at forward, I will be picking the reigning MVP, the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is once again having an amazing season. I mean, he's averaging 30, 14, and 6 in like under 31 minutes a game. I mean, the guy is just insane. Efficiently dominating the league is what Giannis is doing, and he should be a favorite to win the MVP again. He's not my pick for MVP, but he should be a favorite to win MVP again. I mean, scary. Giannis is scary. I mean, he's developed his three-pointer a little bit this year. I mean, still only shooting about 31% from 3. We want to get that up to probably 35, 36 before people actually start respecting him from there. But I mean, can't wait till he joins the Raptors in 2021. It's going to be a great year if he does that. And finally, for my final spot in the AllNBA team, I'm pretty sure all you guys know where I'm going with this. I'm going with the King, LeBron James. Year 17, there's not much more we could say about it. The guy's averaging 26, 8, and 11 on 50% from the field, 35 from 3. Best record in the West. There's not much to say. The guy's been dominant for 17 years in the league. He's my MVP this year. He's turned around the Lakers franchise. He's made them a contender this year with Anthony Davis, and he's my pick for MVP, especially after he won the matchup against Giannis right before this coronavirus stuff happened. Just a phenomenal year for someone who's in year 17, 35 years of age. He's first team All-NBA and my pick for the most valuable player this year.